Greeks vote in historic referendum. Last published opinion polls suggest race could go either way. Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras cast his ballot paper for the referendum in Athens on Sunday. In large. Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras cast his ballot paper for the referendum in Athens on Sunday. Photo, Tsipras. By Stelios Bouras and Nectarius Demouli. Updated July 5, 2015 7:35 am. Each 10 comments. Athens voters were going to the polls in Greece's historic referendum on the demands of the country's lenders for further bailout financing, a vote crucial to its future in the euro. Noisy street rallies before the vote showed strong support for no, but the last published opinion polls suggested the race could go either way. First exit polls are due after voting ends at 7 p.m. Greek time. Early vote counting is expected to lead to an indicative projected result soon afterward, although the time by which the outcome is clear will depend on how close the contest is. Any person who is able to think for themselves will vote no. I did, said Ina Stavrouli, a 46-year-old public sector employee, after casting her vote in the working-class Athens neighborhood of Daphne. We want a better Greece for the future, and this is the only way. It is time to stand up and defend ourselves, she said. My vote was a loud yes, said 33-year-old graphic designer Georgia Hatsaisava. I have worked hard to build up a business and now it could collapse. Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras, who called the referendum and led the no campaign, changes his mind every 5 minutes, said Ms. Hatsaisava. No wonder they don't believe him in Brussels. Campaigners for a no to creditors had a more dominant presence in poor inner-city areas such as Daphne on Sunday, handing out leaflets. Posters for the well-organized no campaign, backed by the governing coalition under the left-wing Syriza party, easily outnumbered those for yes. The referendum on the economic policy conditions that the Eurozone and the International Monetary Fund were demanding in return for further bailout financing last month has divided Greece along lines of age, affluence and ideology. The young, many pensioners, the poor and those with pronounced left-wing or nationalist right-wing views are more likely to vote for a no to creditors, as Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras has called for. Middle-class, middle-aged and politically centrist voters are more likely to vote yes to protect Greece's place in the Eurozone. Mr. Tsipras cast his vote in the central Athens district of Kypseli amid a media scrimmage and hundreds of supporters chanting "Ohi Greek" for no. The Greek people are sending the message that they are taking their lives into their own hands, he said. One can ignore a government's will. Nobody can ignore a nation's will, he said. However, victory for the no camp would make it extremely difficult for Mr. Tsipras and his government to agree to the far-reaching economic overhauls that creditors, led by Germany, will in all probability continue to insist upon as the condition for bailout loans, analysts and policy makers around Europe say. A yes outcome could make it hard for Mr. Tsipras to survive in office, having campaigned for a no vote, although he has signaled in recent days that he would seek to remain Prime Minister whatever Sunday's result. Greek bankruptcy and exit from the Eurozone could well follow a no vote, absent a dramatic about-face in the Athens government's handling of the conflict with creditors. Even a yes vote wouldn't guarantee that a bailout deal can be reached in time to save Greece's government or banking system from insolvency within weeks. Many Greeks don't believe that a no vote would lead to their country's expulsion from Europe's common currency. They tell us we will be kicked out of the euro. I don't believe them. I voted no, said Aristotelis Georgiantis. Under Greece's austerity program since 2010, creditors in past Greek governments cut my pension by a third and I help my son, who is unemployed and has 3 children, Mr. Georgiantis said. I am not a supporter of Tsipras, but I hate the creditors and what they have done to this country. Luckily I have an extra rental income from a property and we are not living in the streets, he added. Pensioner Maria Papandreou voted yes in the downtown Athens neighborhood of Bagrati. If no prevails, there is no tomorrow for this country, she said, with tears in her eyes. Teacher Flora Malinu, also from Pagrati, voted no. I am very afraid. I know there is a possibility that we might have to leave Europe, and I would never want that to happen, she said. But I want to say no to this situation. I want to send the message that Greeks can't go on like this anymore. In Thessaloniki, Greece's second biggest city, full cafes and tourists braving the heat gave the impression of a normal Sunday. But that was belied by the long queues at Athens and at schools where polling stations were operating. I voted no, and I trust most people will, said Stamasha Gerasi, a business developer in human resources. A big no vote will indicate that we don't trust and agree with the measures that the Europeans have been pushing us to take in the past 5 years. The Europeans are responsible for the destruction of the Greek economy. I see it firsthand, trying to do business here, she added. She argued a no victory would strengthen Greece's negotiating position. I voted yes because I want to be in Europe, said veterinarian Athena Konduri, as she left a polling station in a graffiti-covered school. If no wins, I am afraid the crisis will deepen. We will go back to the drachma, and that is a very bad idea. Street artist Thanos Logothetis, who sells painted pebble stones next to the city's iconic White Tower, said he won't vote today. No government can solve our problems, he said. Whether I sell my pebble stones for euros or drachmas, I will be poor either way. In the western Athens suburb of Petropouli, a series of stronghold voters backed out to high school. Not a single sign supporting yes could be seen. Flyers littered the floor showing German Finance Minister Wolfgang Schäuble and the word "ohi" or no. Local shopkeeper and Syriza supporter Elias Kyriakakis predicted an overwhelming no victory. The scaremongering around the Euro exit following a no vote is a fabrication of elites, the 38-year-old said. He wore an orange sticker on his shirt that read, Democracy Dignity No, and stood with friends at the Syriza kiosk distributing stickers and greeting voters. Of course, I personally think that we need to leave the Eurozone. We may have some problems at first, but we have other allies, Russia, China, who can help us. Europe isn't a one-way street. In the affluent Athens beachside district of Paleofoliro, local cafes were busier than usual on Sunday as voters debated a referendum. Pharmacist Alexandra Agaligis sipped her iced coffee with her husband and 2 young children at a cafe opposite one of the city's most popular beach promenades. I was in 2 minds about what to vote and went for yes at the last minute, she said. I resent the fact that this could push Greece's conservative opposition back into power, but I fear the alternative for my children. Retired teacher Iasonas Triantafilou, who sat in a cafe with 5 friends discussing Greece's future, said he voted no. I fear the divisions being created in Greece right now and how people will react to all this, he said. We are in a no-win situation. We don't know what to do. God help us, he said.